It started with silence. The kind of silence that feels heavy, thick with tension, anticipation, and the weight of millions of unseen eyes watching through screens. The red light above the camera flicked on, and in that single instant, everything changed. "Welcome back to the Megyn Kelly Show," the host said smoothly, her voice calm, her posture sharp, eyes glinting with practiced confidence. Across from her sat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, fiery, bold, and unflinchingly outspoken. She adjusted her mic, her heart steady but her mind racing. She knew Megyn was not here for a friendly conversation. She was here for a battle. The debate began with simple policy questions: economy, leadership, accountability. But soon, as it always does on live TV, it turned personal. Megyn leaned forward, her voice cutting through the air like a blade. "Congresswoman, with all due respect, you seem more interested in headlines than hard work. Do you really believe your passion translates into progress?" For a moment, Jasmine froze. The audience gasped. Cameras zoomed in, the perfect TV moment. But what no one saw was what was happening inside her. Memories flashed, the late nights in her office writing bills no one believed in, the hate mail calling her too loud, the people from her district who told her she was their only hope. She wasn't just sitting in a studio, she was standing in a storm of everything she'd fought for. Her jaw tightened, her eyes locked onto Megyn's. "Headlines," Jasmine said softly, almost whispering. "I don't fight for headlines, Megyn. I fight for people who don't have your microphone." The crowd stirred. The studio lights seemed to grow hotter. Megyn smiled, the kind of smile that said, "Nice try." She leaned back, voice dripping with confidence. "You talk about fighting for people, but all I see is chaos in Congress and division on the ground. Maybe it's time to admit, you're part of the problem." That line hit hard. Even the producers behind the camera paused. But Jasmine didn't blink. Her voice rose, not in anger, but in power. "Division doesn't come from those who speak truth," she said. "It comes from those who fear it." The room fell silent again. Even Megyn hesitated. The live chat exploded. Viewers watching across the country could feel it. This wasn't just an argument, it was raw humanity clashing on air. And then, the moment that broke the internet. Megyn, visibly frustrated, snapped back, "So, what truth are you speaking that no one else can see?" Jasmine leaned forward, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "The truth," she said slowly, "that people like me, people from broken neighborhoods, from forgotten communities, have had to shout just to be heard. And every time we do, people like you call it noise. But it's not noise. It's pain. It's hope. It's truth." For a heartbeat, Megyn said nothing. Her show, built on control and confrontation, had just been shaken by something real: heart. The clip went viral within hours. Hashtags flooded social media. Hashtag Jasmine Crockett Truth. Hashtag Megyn Kelly Showdown. Hashtag Voice of the People. News outlets spun their own narratives. Some painted Jasmine as a hero, others as a headline chaser. But for millions of ordinary viewers, something else stood out: the courage to stay calm when being publicly tested, the power to stand firm in your truth when the world tries to silence you. Later that night, Jasmine sat alone in her office. The cameras were gone, the noise faded. Her phone buzzed, thousands of messages, both hate and love. She put it face down and stared at the city lights outside her window. A quiet knock came at the door. Her assistant peeked in, holding a small envelope. "It came from your hometown," she said softly. Jasmine opened it, a handwritten letter. From a teenage girl. The words were shaky but full of warmth. "Greater than, I saw you on TV today. They tried to make you small, but you stood tall. Thank you for showing me what strength looks like." Tears filled Jasmine's eyes. She smiled through them. "That's why," she whispered. "That's why I do this." The next morning, Megyn addressed the interview on her podcast. "We may disagree," she said carefully, "but Jasmine Crockett reminded us all of something important. Passion isn't chaos, and truth doesn't always come wrapped in calm tones. Sometimes, it comes in fire." And for the first time in a long while, both women earned a new kind of respect, from each other, and from a country desperate to see something real. The world moved on, as it always does, but that moment remained, a symbol of how confrontation can lead to clarity, and how one voice, when used with purpose, can shake even the most unshakable rooms. Message: never silence your truth for the comfort of others. Even when they try to destroy you publicly, your strength, your authenticity, can become the very thing that changes the conversation. Because sometimes, the loudest roar doesn't come from anger. It comes from courage.